Hey, welcome you guys. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the horror movie poster in PhotoPea. So we're going to start off and we're going to go into Canvas and we're going to look at what's there. I've got the instructions laid out for you. But the first thing that you're going to need is you're going to need to take a selfie of you screaming. Now, if you look here in Agenda and Links, what you'll see is a bunch of different people screaming. I went to Google image and I just typed in portrait screaming. And as you can see, there are so many different variations. But I want you to be thinking about this as you're deciding how best to take the photo of yourself. And so, with that being said, I'm going to get started and I'm just going to use some sample images that I found on the web. You, however, you will be using a photo of yourself screaming as the backdrop. So, we're going to head over to PhotoPea, type in PHOTOPEA.com. Next thing I'm going to do after I've got those images downloaded is I'm going to go file. I'm going to go open. I'm going to open up the picture of the screaming. Let's see, where is this? Okay, so we got that image there. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go file new document. And I want you guys to make an 8 by 10 at 300 resolution. So right here, I'm going to name this horror movie poster, and I'm going to change pixels to inches. The width is going to be 8. The DPI, remember DPI stands for dots per inch. I'm going to change that to 300. Okay, so we got 8 by 10 at 300. That's inches. I hit create. Next, I'm going to go back to my picture of the screaming. I'm going to go Control A for all. Okay, so hold down that Control key, A. I'm going to hit Control C for copy. And then I'm going to go to my horror movie poster and I'm going to paste it. So I hit Control V. Next thing I need to do is a free transform. So I'll go under Edit and I'll go down to free transform. The shortcut for that is Alt Control T. And when you do that, you'll see that these handlebars, the handles appear. Now you always want to grab the corner handle. I'm going to hold down the Shift key as I do so, so that it doesn't get distorted, it doesn't get too skinny, fat, tall, or short. And then I will move this into place. Maybe that's a little large because I'm trying to pre-visualize this and I want to have some text at the top. So I'm going to move her picture down there and then I hit enter. The next thing I need to do is I'm going to come over to the layers palette. In the layers palette, beside the garbage can, I've got new layer. Okay, so click that. You'll see that it appears here. I'm going to rename this. I'm going to name this black background, back black background paint. And while I'm over here, I'm going to label this one Scream, and then the background's already been labeled. So the layer that is selected, the darker layer, that's the active one. I'm going to grab my paintbrush. Okay, so you can type B for brush, that's the hotkey, and I can then drop this. I'm going to enlarge the diameter of that paintbrush so that it doesn't take a whole lot of effort for me to fill this in black and go around her hands and stuff like this. I'm also going to change the hardness. Now, right now it's at 100. I want it to be more like spray paint, so the hardness is going back to 0%. So I move those two there. Now I'm going to go down to my layers palette. Sorry, I'm going to go down here in the tool console down at the bottom. And right now, white is on top. If you look down the bottom left, I'm going to swap that. So you can either hit the hotkey X or you can hit these two little arrows between the color swatches. That's going to put black on top. And then what I'll do is I'll go around and I'm going to just add some dark background to this. There's all sorts of different ways of doing this. This is probably just a different way. So I'm going to go around. All right, here we go. Fill in all those areas. And then I'll come down to the bottom. And I'm just going to scoot around the bottom of the hands there because I'm also going to have some sort of text at the bottom as well. There we go. Quick and easy. Maybe I'll come in a little closer to this so I don't have that haloing effect. There, she looks anguished. All right, next up, what I need to do is I need to add in some broken glass on top. I'm going to add in a fog layer. So what I'll do is go into Canvas, and you see I've left you a few samples that you can take. You can also go on the internet, go to Google Image, type in brokenglass.png. You're looking for one that doesn't have watermarks across the front, so it doesn't say Shutterstock or whatever. And the reason why you want a PNG rather than a JPEG is that PNG and GIF, they both allow you to have transparencies, which means that you won't have to use the magic wand and cut out all of the negative space around the crack. So the way that this works, if you want to just go easy in here in Canvas, do a right click, copy image, then you go back to PhotoPea, and I'm going to hit Control V for paste. You'll see it appears. Now the contrast on this particular crack is a little bit too much for me right now, so I'm going to be changing the opacity. Before I do that, though, I'm going to do transform. I'm going to resize this. Okay, so I hit File, Free Transform, and then I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and I'm going to then add this cracked effect to the front, to the top of her screaming. There we go. And then I hit Enter. Next, I'm going to change the opacity. So if I come over here to the Layers palette, you'll see where it says opacity on the right. I'm going to drop that down, and I'm just going to kind of lessen it until I get there. There you go. Nice little crack going on. Then I go back to Canvas. I'm going to take another one of these like cracks. I'm going to hit copy image, and then I hit Control V. Okay, so we got a nice little crack happening to balance what's happening over on the right side. Next, I'm going to be adding in a little bit of fog layer. So I go to Canvas again, scroll down. I got black fog for you, white fog. I'm going to do a little white fog. I hit copy image. Then I'm going to hit Control V. I'm going to resize this, make it a little bit larger. So I'm going to go edit, free transform, or Alt Control T. Then going to pull this down. And again, this right now it's a little bit maybe too opaque. So I'm going to maybe I'll situate it right there. The last step I hit is enter to get rid of the handles on the free transform. And I'm going to label this one fog layer. I hit enter. So to change the opacity on the fog layer, I'm going to then move the slider, which kind of gives this creepy little smoke fog look, and call it good. Maybe I add in another. I can duplicate this very quickly by going Control A, Control C, Control V, and using the move tool, the first tool that we learned. I'm going to slide this over, so as to kind of create some balance and to also create unity between these two sides. And again, I'll change the opacity on that as well. So we get this kind of smoke effect going on. There we go. Next, I need to add in some text. So, a classic horror movie is going to have, some kind of red text. Those are classic color scheme for a poster would be red, black, and white. You can choose whatever you want. I'm just going to go with this because it's easy. So I'll pick like blood red, hit OK. Remember, the text tool color is at the top of your screen. And so right now, once I click on text, I can click on the image. It's going to drop the cursor. And as I can see, it's pretty small. So I'm going to enlarge this. It says 150. I think I'm going to go with like 300. This is a title font, so it needs to be dominant on the graphic. So I hit enter, and I'm going to type in, let's see, the name of this. So you can come up with any name you like for this piece. Let's see. I'm going to label this Scream. Now this this is not a very scary font, so I need to pick something that's going to be a little bit more grungy, maybe blood drippy kind of font, horror movie type. So I'm going to look at the options here. All right, so I've just then changed it to a font called Hanalei Fill, and just like with the graphics, you can free transform text. So I need to make this quite a bit larger. I'm going to go Edit, Free Transform. I'm going to grab that hold the Shift key, grab the corner, and then I'll slide this into place, centering it, and then I hit Enter. I'm going to move this cracked glass on top of the screen. So I go over here to the Layers palette. I'm going to slide that on top, and as you can see, it's kind of a better effect there, kind of brings it through. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put starring, and I'm going to put my name down here. Okay, so I want all of you to put your own name. I have to reduce the font size. Let's see, we'll go with let's say 100. Oh, say starring, and I'll put Grizzly Bear, which is school mascot. And at this point too, if I'm not happy with this size, I can go free transform edit, free transform, and grab the corner there, hold the shift, stretch it out, and I'm going to then move it down here at the bottom. And that's pretty much it. Next stage after I hit enter is I'm going to flatten this up. I go to layer. I'm going to scroll down till it says flatten image. Then I'm going to go under file and I'm going to export it as a JPEG. And that's pretty much it. Make sure you change the quality to 100%. Hit save. It's going to save it to either your desktop or into Google Drive. And then you can upload it to the link in Canvas master list of assignments, or you can upload it to the link that's there inside of the module. So that's it for making a horror movie poster, real quick and easy. We're playing around with opacity. We're messing around with, layers and transparencies, and that's it for the day. Thanks for joining me.